My name's Peter Williams, Dr. P.J. Williams, as I sometimes go in academia. I'm Warden of Tyndale House. Now, Warden, of course, is someone who looks after a prison, and so you could think of me as looking after Tyndale House as a prison because it's full of inmates, but really it's a title that's used in Britain sometimes for director of an organisation, which is what I am. Tyndale House is, I think, one of the top biblical studies research libraries in the world, and it's located in Cambridge, very close to the Centre of Humanities Study for Cambridge University, so we're able to have interaction with people in the university through that connection. In fact, many of the people who come to study here are studying in Cambridge University. So what it is, it's a study centre with a library, and about 40 to 50 people are located here and use the library as a basis for their studies. So 20 of those might be doing PhDs in Cambridge University, and rather than using other facilities, they're using our facilities as the main place for study. It's a Christian centre, and so we have a community, and we seek to benefit people through that community, and so that hopefully as they study in that environment, it's beneficial to them in the way that they see things. Well, we have some people who stay for one night, some people who stay for 3 years. A lot of people who are doing a PhD in Cambridge University would stay for 3 years. However, some people might want to come for a sabbatical stay of 1 month or for a year or something like that. So we get various lengths of study. There tends to be a core group who are there to welcome some of the comers and goers, and we generally have over 10 nationalities represented at any one time. So people can come from all around the world. The way you work out the reliability of something like the Bible is by testing various assertions that something has changed, testing various documents which seem to show variation amongst themselves. And so it works negatively, and what happens is you simply can show that some changes which have taken place in manuscripts have happened secondarily, and all you can show is there is no reason to think that a particular text has changed in various instances. You could never actually prove that it hasn't changed. So let's say Moses came down the mountain from God with tablets written by God. Well, even if you had that on video, him coming down the mountain with the tablets, you wouldn't know what he did just before he came around the corner on the mountain. So you can never actually prove that something hasn't changed. And so often people come out with assertions saying the Bible's changed. And I would say those sorts of assertions generally don't stand up. That doesn't mean that I can actually use some proof of a mathematical or philosophical kind or historical proof and show that no change has taken place. I can simply show that there is no reason to think that a change has taken place in the places they talk about. Of course, there have been changes that take place in biblical manuscripts. I think, however, that the original is available in the manuscripts that we have. Now, often we don't know what the original text is. That doesn't mean it's not available. It means that we have two things which, from our perspective, either of them may be the original. That's different from saying the original is uncertain. At least if you say the original is uncertain, what you mean is I am uncertain as to what the original is. You're not actually stating that the original itself is uncertain. For instance, someone else may be certain about it. God may be certain about it. So I think that often people can use imprecise language when they describe something like this, and they don't unpack what they mean. So what I'd say is I think there's no reason to think that the original text of the Bible is not available. Sometimes, however, we also have variations on that available, and we don't know which is which. Often they're small matters of wording, and in that situation you could always say, well, what we've got is the original and a translation of it. even if it's a translation into the same language. So it might be that one text said, Jesus said to him, and another said, Jesus to him said, for instance. Well, those really mean the same thing. One may be original and we may be uncertain which is which, but the other one is then simply a translation or a transcription of it, albeit with a change. So those sorts of things, I think it would be nice to resolve, but they don't in any sense bar the message of the Bible from coming to people. Well, it tends to be that various institutions that have manuscripts put them up on the web. For instance, the Oxford University putting up the Oxyrhynchus papyri, which are held there. So they're putting up their own. They don't have any ambitions to put up other people's manuscripts. And what the CSNTM is doing, which is different from any other group, is actually travelling to some of those places which have only got 1 or 2 manuscripts available, and seeking to make those available. So I think that's a real difference, because there's no way that those individual manuscripts, say in private ownership, or well, the one in, for instance, Leicester, which has been seen recently, would become available because some other group was seeking it. I think it's only CSNTM which is actually initiating with some of these people. And of course, when you've got a small collection like that, often the people holding it don't have the resources to make it available. So the CSNTM is bringing things together, and I think it's great and it's worthy of support.